A'ja Wilson just dropped the biggest bomb in the history of the WNBA, and it has nothing to do with a buzzer beater. The Las Vegas Aces superstar and back-to-back MVP is officially taking Nike to court. This is not a small disagreement over a shoe color or a late payment. This is a full-scale legal war that is about to tear the sports world apart. Wilson is weaponizing a breach of contract lawsuit to expose what her legal team calls the Caitlin Clause. This is a secret equity trigger buried deep inside Caitlin Clark's historic Nike deal. We are stripping back the corporate lies to reveal how this hidden clause devalues Wilson's legacy. It has ignited a high-stakes locker room mutiny that is ready to dismantle the Nike basketball hierarchy forever. The game tape does not lie, and the contract receipts are finally out. Nike thought they could play favorites in the dark, but the light is finally hitting the paper. This is the moment the most powerful brand in sports realized they picked a fight with the wrong champion. The details of this lawsuit are absolutely devastating for the suits in Oregon. A'ja Wilson has been the face of the league for years. She has the rings and she has the MVP trophies to prove it. But while Wilson was carrying the league on her back, Nike was busy drafting a secret blueprint. When Caitlin Clark signed her massive deal, the world was told it was worth $28 million. That number was already a slap in the face to veterans like Wilson. But the lawsuit reveals that $28 million is just the tip of the iceberg. The real damage is found in a hidden equity trigger. This clause gives Clark a direct ownership stake in the company that grows every time she hits certain marketing milestones. This kind of deal was never offered to Wilson. Even after Wilson led her team to multiple championships, Nike kept her on a standard cash-heavy contract. Cash is fine for some people, but equity is how you build real power. By giving a rookie ownership while the MVP gets a paycheck, Nike officially devalued Wilson's status as the top athlete in the world. The locker room has officially turned, and the energy is toxic. Wilson's teammates are not staying quiet about this blatant disrespect. The Las Vegas Aces locker room is a fortress of loyalty, and they see this as a direct attack on their leader. Sources from inside the facility confirm that players are already covering up Nike logos on their practice gear. They see the Caitlin Clause as a tool for corporate corruption. It is a way for Nike to pick who wins before the ball is even tipped. If one player has an ownership stake in the brand and the other does not, the brand will always push the owner. This creates a massive conflict of interest on and off the court. Wilson's lawsuit claims that Nike intentionally suppressed her marketing spend to make sure Clark's numbers looked better. The receipts show that Nike spent 3 times more on social media ads for a rookie than they did for the reigning MVP during the finals. This is not just bad business. Wilson's lawyers say it is a legal breach of their duty to promote her as a top-tier athlete. The game tape from last season tells the real story of this robbery. A'ja Wilson put up numbers that we have never seen in the history of professional basketball. She was the first player to ever cross the 1,000-point mark in a single season. She was dominant on defense and a nightmare on offense. But while she was making history, Nike was focused on a rookie who had not even won a playoff game yet. The lawsuit points to the launch of A'ja Wilson's signature shoe as the smoking gun. Nike delayed the release of the A's One shoe for months. They claimed it was because of supply chain issues and production delays. But Wilson's legal team found internal emails that say something much worse. The emails show that Nike executives wanted to clear the schedule so Clark's marketing campaign could have the spotlight all to itself. They intentionally slowed down the MVP to speed up the rookie. This is a classic case of a corporate villain trying to manufacture a new hero while burying the one who actually did the work. Nike is in a total meltdown because they know the evidence is solid. The breach of contract centers on a most favored nations clause in Wilson's deal. This clause basically says that if Nike gives a better deal structure to another player in the same tier, they have to offer it to Wilson too. Nike tried to argue that Clark is in a different tier because of her college following, but Wilson's lawyers are laughing at that excuse. You cannot be in a higher tier than the back-to-back MVP who just set the all-time scoring record. The game is about winning, and Wilson is the ultimate winner. By hiding the equity trigger, Nike thought they could avoid triggering Wilson's clause. They thought they could keep the ownership stake a secret and just keep paying Wilson her regular salary. But the leak happened, and now the hammer is about to drop. The league is watching this case closely because it changes how every contract will be written from now on. The second half of this disaster is even uglier for the brand. Wilson is not just fighting for herself anymore. She has become the face of a league-wide war against corporate favoritism. Other stars like Breanna Stewart and Alyssa Thomas are reportedly watching the legal filings with intense interest. The facts show that Nike has been building a wall around their new golden girl, while the rest of the league is left to fight for scraps. The brand deal fallout is already starting to spread. There are reports that Wilson is looking for a way to terminate her deal entirely so she can sign with a brand that actually respects her value. If Wilson leaves Nike, it will be the biggest defection in sports history. It would be like Michael Jordan leaving in 1996. It would signal to every black athlete in the WNBA that Nike is not a place where they are truly valued. The brand is facing a reputation ruin that they might never recover from. The villain in this story is the corrupt front office at Nike. They ignored the data, and they ignored the loyalty of their best athlete. They thought they could buy their way into a new era by stacking the deck for one player, but they forgot that the locker room is where the real power lives. You cannot win a championship in a boardroom, and you cannot hide a secret contract forever. The game tape doesn't lie, and the fans are starting to see the truth too. Every time A'ja Wilson steps on the court and dominates, she is proving that she is the real engine of the league. The lawsuit claims that Nike's behavior has caused Wilson tens of millions of dollars in lost opportunities. When a brand treats their MVP like a second-class citizen, it tells the rest of the world that she is not worth their time. That is the definition of a toxic partnership. The legal war is just getting started, but the damage is already done. Wilson's team has leaked audio of Nike marketing meetings where executives openly discussed how to pivot away from veteran stars. They wanted a fresh face that they could control with equity and stock options. They didn't want an athlete who knew her worth and demanded a seat at the table. A'ja Wilson is too smart and too powerful for their liking. She is a woman who knows her value, and she is not afraid to burn the whole house down to get what she's owed. The Caitlin clause was supposed to be the secret weapon that gave Nike total control over the WNBA's future. Instead, it became the spark that started a revolution. The league office is terrified of what might come out during the discovery phase of the trial. If Nike is doing this, what are the other brands doing behind closed doors? The stats from last season are the ultimate evidence of Wilson's greatness. She averaged nearly 27 points and 12 rebounds a game. She was a defensive force that changed the gravity of every play. To suggest that a rookie deserves an equity stake that the MVP doesn't get is an insult to the game itself. Wilson is being portrayed as the victim of league politics, and she has every right to be angry. She did everything the right way. She played the games, she won the trophies, and she represented the brand with class. In return, she got a secret door slammed in her face. But Wilson is not a victim who sits around and cries. She is a hunter, and she is hunting for justice in a court of law. The total meltdown at Nike is a direct result of their own greed. They tried to play a game of favorites, and they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. The fallout from this lawsuit is going to reach every corner of the basketball world. We are seeing a high-stakes sports forensics study play out in real time. We are seeing how a brand can turn a locker room into a war zone by being dishonest. The hidden equity trigger is a slap in the face to every player who came before Clark. It tells them that their years of service and their championships mean nothing compared to a hype train. Wilson is standing up for every vet who's been overlooked by a corporate machine that only cares about the next big thing. She is the hero this league needs right now. She is the one willing to put her own money and her own reputation on the line to expose the truth. The game of basketball is built on fairness, and Wilson is making sure that fairness extends to the contract office too. Nike's legal team is trying to scramble for a settlement, but Wilson is not interested in a quiet payoff. She wants the truth to be public. She wants every detail of the Caitlyn clause to be read out in open court. She wants the world to see how the brand hierarchy is rigged against the people who actually build the culture. The reputation ruin for Nike is already hitting their stock price. Investors are worried that the brand has lost its connection to the athletes that make it cool. If the top players in the WNBA start walking away, the brand is dead in the water. This is a massive corporate gamble that is failing in spectacular fashion. The locker room mutiny is spreading to other teams too. Players are talking on the court and they are talking in the tunnels. The word is out that Nike is playing a dirty game. The breach of contract lawsuit is the first of its kind, but it won't be the last. A'ja Wilson has opened the floodgates for a new era of athlete empowerment. She is showing that you don't have to just take what the brand gives you. You can fight back and you can win. The game tape shows that Wilson is the best player in the world, and the contract receipts show she is being paid like she is second best. That math does not add up, and it is the reason why this lawsuit is so dangerous for Nike. They cannot argue with the numbers. They cannot argue with the fact that they hid a major financial trigger from their top athlete. The locker room has officially turned, and there is no going back to the way things were. The villain is the architect of their own career downfall in this situation. Nike had the perfect athlete in A'ja Wilson. They had a superstar who was loyal and dominant. They threw it all away because they got greedy and wanted to chase a new marketing ghost. They thought they could bury a secret clause and keep everyone happy with crumbs. But A'ja Wilson is not a player who settles for crumbs. She is a player who demands the whole meal. The cost of their toxic behavior is a lawsuit that could cost them hundreds of millions of dollars. It could cost them the most important athlete they have ever signed in the WNBA. Nike is facing a total meltdown because they forgot the most important rule in sports. You never disrespect the MVP. The final buzzer is about to sound on this chapter of Nike's history. A'ja Wilson is moving forward with the lawsuit, and she is not looking back. She is vindicated by the facts, and she is supported by her peers. The brand hierarchy is crumbling, and a new era is beginning. This is what happens when a superstar decides she has had enough of the corporate lies. The hidden equity trigger was supposed to be a secret, but now it is the headline of every sports show in the country. The game tape doesn't lie, and the legal papers don't either. Wilson is proving that her power on the court is matched by her power in the courtroom. Nike is about to learn a very expensive lesson about the cost of toxic behavior. The world is watching, and the receipts are finally being paid in full.